بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم نحمده ونصلي على رسول كريم أما بعد عن النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم أنه قال ثلاث من كن فيه وجد حلاوة الإيمان أن يكون الله ورسوله أحب إليه مما سواهما وأن يحب المرء لا يحبه إلا لله وأن يكره أن يعود في الكفر كما يكره أن يقذف في النار وكما قال عليه الصلاة والسلام. In this hadith, the Prophet ﷺ explained to us that there are three qualities which if a person has, then they indeed have tasted the sweetness of Iman. And the sweetness of Iman is something that one cannot really describe until they have felt it. No matter how many words you put it in, it's something that you cannot truly describe, and it's only something that one can understand when they actually feel this beautiful and amazing feeling, and may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala grant this to all of us. And so the Prophet ﷺ described which three qualities grant you this sweetness of Iman. One is that Allah and His Rasul ﷺ are more beloved to him than anyone besides them. The second is وَأَن يُحِبَّ الْمَرْءَ لَا يُحِبُّهُ إِلَّا لِلَّهِ, that they love a person only and solely for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, not for any other worldly motives, not because of any sort of connection they have in terms of worldly means, rather solely for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And the third, which is what I want to focus on today, is أن يكره أن يعود في الكفر كما يكره أن يقذف في النار, that he hates and dislikes that he returns back to kufr, disbelief, just like he would hate to jump into or go into the fire. Now this tells us that first and foremost, something that we should all know is that Iman is the greatest blessing that we can have. And no matter how much we thank Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, we can never thank Him enough for Iman. At the same time, we have to know that it is not guaranteed that we will die upon Iman. And so this should be the most hateful thought to us, the worst thought possible to our minds, that a possibility is there, that, na'udhu billah, may Allah protect every single one of us and our progeny, that one can return to the fold of kufr. And so one should continuously make dua and make efforts. It's not something that we should just feel is granted and guaranteed, that I was born as a Muslim or I accepted Islam, now I will definitely die upon Islam. Rather, first and foremost, we have to make an effort on our Iman and keep on increasing in our connection to Allah. Inshallah, that's how we will ensure that we don't fall into this terrible trap. And along with that, we can never truly and surely secure ourselves. We should always seek help from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. I mean, look at the Prophet alayhi salatu wasalam, the best of all people. Ibrahim alayhi salam, one of the greatest prophets to ever exist. What is the advice that he gives to his grandson Ya'qub? وَوَصَّى بِهَا إِبْرَاهِيمُ بَنِيهِ وَيَعْقُوبَ يَا بَنِيَّ إِنَّ اللَّهَ اصْطَفَى لَكُمُ الدِّينَ فَلَا تَمُوتُنَّ إِلَّا وَأَنْتُمْ مُسْلِمُونَ. He tells him that Allah has chosen this deen for you, so do not die except in a state that you are Muslims. Then you have his great-grandson Yusuf alayhi salam. After the whole long story, beautiful story told in the Quran, he went through all those difficulties. In the end, he came out on top, and his own father and his own brothers, the same ones who threw him into the well, are now bowing in reverence and prostration to him. And at that point, he makes a beautiful dua at the end of Surah Yusuf. At the end of this dua, what does he say? In such humility, what does he say? Tawaffani musliman wa alhiqni bis salihin. Allow me to die as a Muslim and make me from amongst the righteous people. And similarly, you hear the Prophet ﷺ making this dua, that وَمَنْ تَوَفَّيْتَهُ مِنَّا فَتَوَفَّهُ عَلَى الْإِيمَانِ. The one who you cause to die amongst us, then allow him to die upon Iman. So this tells us, and how many places in the Quran does Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, وَلَا تَمُوتُنَّ إِلَّا وَأَنْتُمْ مُسْلِمُونَ. Don't die except that you are in a state of Iman. So we should all never ever take this for granted. And we should realize, we're hearing of cases of people leaving the fold of Islam. We should take this seriously for ourselves and for our offspring as well. And the first priority in our lives should be the safeguarding of our Iman, the most valuable asset that we have, and also safeguarding the asset of our children, making sure that they are at a good place in terms of their Iman. Any sort of doubts in their mind are removed. And on top of that, spiritually, that we are working on our Iman constantly as a family. We are sitting together reading the ahadith of the Prophet ﷺ. We talk about Allah, we talk about His Rasul ﷺ. We frequent these beautiful gatherings in the masajid. This is more important than ever, especially in the society we are living in which we are enveloped by the darkness of kufr. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala grant us al-tawfiq. And may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala protect us and our generation until the day of judgment from kufr and allow us all to die upon iman. Wa akhiru da'wana alhamdulillah.